came out.
Absolutely.
This woman cried to her counselor at the abortion clinic, "I'm being abused. I'm being forced to sleep with my father." They did absolutely nothing.
But these people care so much about women. Come on, guys.
They care about these young girls, right?
Yeah,
I'll tell you, Mark,
it's women's rights. Come
they
on.
could have ignored the first hit on the child predator. They could have ignored the second hit, but now, as you said, it's exploding across the nation. And these young girls are hearing about it, and they're coming out and speaking about it publicly.
Well, in this particular case in Ohio, for those who don't know, this is the second lawsuit against the same Planned Parenthood. Last year, they were charged with failure to meet the state's parental notification requirement in that they allowed the mid-20-year-old rapist of this child to sign in as her father in order to do the abortion and cover up the rape. Now what's happened is, like Troy is saying, a man is incesting his own daughter. He is, as it now turns out, he's been indicted. And as the police are saying, he forced her to actually live as his wife. She was sleeping in the bed with him every night, etc. He took her to Planned Parenthood to cover up the rape. She told the Planned Parenthood people what was going on. They did the abortion, no report, sent them on their way, and the abuse continued. And now the girl has come forward and is suing Planned Parenthood for allowing this to continue on. And this is what's got to happen. This is what's got to happen. Because this is going on thousands of times a day at these abortion clinics and Planned Parenthood facilities all over the United States. And finally, people now are starting to come forward with it. And the other thing is, in the production of documents that Planned Parenthood was forced to give to the attorney in this case, a man named Brian Hurley in Cincinnati, they found one of the documents under the heading of talking about how to report the statutory rape to mandatory reporting. It had a note, handwritten note on there, "Don't ask, don't tell." Oh. And now Planned Parenthood is claiming, oh, that was just some errant employee, didn't know what they were doing, just wrote that in there. But I went back and looked at the transcripts from all the Ohio calls that we did to the state of Ohio, and over and over and over again, you heard things like, "Don't tell me that. I don't want to hear that information. You've already given me too much. Don't say anything about that. We don't want to know how old you are. We don't want to know how old he is. Don't give us that information. I didn't hear that." That was over and over and over in calls. It was clear that it was the don't ask, don't tell. And I furnished a copy of all the tapes for Ohio and all the transcripts for Ohio to the attorney in this case. And Planned Parenthood is not going to be able to run away from this, I don't believe. But
hope not.
Speaking of our buddies here at Planned Parenthood, a couple of months ago, we had a young lady on the show named Lila Rose, who had gone to, she's a student at UCLA, and she'd gone to the health center there, saying that she may be pregnant and so forth, just to see what kind of counseling she would get. And what happened was that as she reported on LifeTalk a couple of months ago, the counselor just hammered on her about abortion. You got to have abortion. This baby's going to ruin your life, yada, yada, yada. Now she did something else. She and a friend who she posed as a 15-year-old girl went to a Planned Parenthood facility with a hidden camera, had a guy with her posing as her 23-year-old boyfriend, and it's pretty interesting what happened. Lila's joining us again, as is her ersatz boyfriend, James O'Keefe. Hello, Lila.
Hi, how are you?
Just fine. And James, I hear you're with us too.
Yes, good morning.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for being with us.
Dynamic duo.
Thank you.
The dynamic duo, yes.
YouTube stars.
As I understand it, Lila, what happened here is you told them you were 15. They kind of started hedging around about it. They'd have to report that, and then told you to tell them that you were 16 and to come up with a date. Is that what happened?
Exactly. The first Planned Parenthood employee that I spoke with as a 15-year-old girl told me to just figure out a birth date that works, and I don't know anything. Right.
I have the copy here from a transcript from the actual tape, and it's all over YouTube and all over the internet now. And it says, staff, if you're 15, we have to report it. If you're not, you're older than that, we don't need to. So you said, okay, but if I just say I'm 15, then that's different. So I could say, and they interrupted, you could say 16. You said, I could say 16, Planned Parenthood staff, yes. Okay, yeah, so I would just write 16. And she says, well, just figure out a birth date that works, and I don't know anything. After our undercover investigation and things like this, how can any sane person in this world deny that these people are doing exactly what I said, which is operating a nationwide pedophile protection ring. This is the largest criminal conspiracy in American history. And that's what's going on here, and the victims are children.
And we keep sending them more money to do it.
Absolutely. Hey, James.
Yes.
You're there as the 23-year-old boyfriend, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Did anybody confront you?
No, they were very gentle with me. When they found out my age, they didn't even react. The second Planned Parenthood we went into, I said I was 23, and the woman brought us inside of her office and counseled us very gently and told us that when she was a young girl, she had a baby, and if she could do it over again, she would not have the baby. So nobody reacted to my age. Nobody cared that we were 7 years different and that it was illegal.
You know, I keep on getting criticized. I get criticized sometimes even from pro-lifers when I say these people are pathologically evil. Mm-hmm. And they'll say, oh, we can't be calling them names. You know, they're just people who are a little confused. We've got to minister to them. No, they are evil. If a woman can sit there and say to you, I had my baby and I now wish I had killed the baby, mm-hmm. that person is evil. I don't care what anybody says, anything else they say about them. And for her to sit there and try to counsel you basically in a sense that she's telling you that this relationship is okay. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Lila, were you there in that session?
Yeah, we were both in the counseling session.
Did she say anything to you like, "Hey, darling, you don't need to be in this relationship with this older man"? Did she say anything like that?
The main thing that she talked about was that abortion would be okay, kind of like you don't have to worry about it. And she said when I told her, I know I'm 15, he's 23, she said, "Don't worry, we don't have to report that. Don't worry, we won't report that." The main thing she emphasized was that to not be concerned that you were going to get in trouble. And she kept on, and she brought us into a private office away from everyone and was very gentle with us and basically just calmed our fears and said, you know, if I could do it over again, I wouldn't have had my pregnancy. That's the one thing that really shocked us. This was the manager of the Planned Parenthood, the manager.
How did y'all respond to that when she said that she regretted having her child?
Lila's response, I remember clearly, was wow. Wow. She literally said wow. And if you go to the audio tape, you can actually hear her saying wow. After she
nice
said
for
that.
this kid to know that, huh?
I was going to say, what if her child hears this tape?
Mm-hmm. Right, how horrible.
Yeah.
What does this child think? My mother wishes that she'd have killed me?
That would be terrible.
Her children are now, I think, 12 and 16 years old, from what she told us.
I don't care if you're 40, it would impact you.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
I mean, my mother and father are dead, but if my parents were alive and my mother came out right now, I'm 59 years old. She came out and said...
Hopefully it was just a kind of a lie in order to encourage me to get an abortion. Hopefully it was just a tactic she was using to sell an abortion to me instead of an actual true thing.
That's the point we always make. They're here to cover up for these child predators and sell abortions. They're not here to counsel for choice. They're here to sell one product, and that is child killing.
And the worst thing, Troy, me and you, and Mark too, we know it as advocates for life. As men, they're always criticizing us. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, what is this? This is a women's issue. This is you men. And here's a man who's a predator, and they love him.
And he's bringing the victim in with him.
Yeah.
So they're sitting right there in front of what they believe is a statutory rape victim and the rapist. Yeah. Right. And it's like, oh yeah. But you know why? You know why they're doing this?
Money.
But I'm saying, do you know why they have this attitude? It's because this is something they see every day, all day, and this is how they deal with it. Right. None of them did any of them. You're saying both of y'all are saying that none of them tried to counsel you against this relationship. Did any of them even show any surprise or shock or condemnation or anything of it?
No. Not exactly. No.
It's just business as usual, right?
Right.